Hello, my name is Elissa Saltzman, and I am the Camp Healing Hearts Director with the Hospice Grief Center connected to Hospice of Central New York and of the Finger Lakes. I want to thank you for joining us. If you're watching this video, that means that you're joining us for our online 2021 Camp Healing Hearts. I'm sorry that again we had to have our camp in this format. However, we want to ensure everyone's safety as we continue to go through the COVID-19 pandemic. A couple of you might have done this camp last year, and there are some changes and some things are the same. Primarily, you'll be doing this on your own at home, watching some videos like this one, and doing the activities in the guide that I provided, which would look like this. And in the guide will be an outline of how to follow through camp. The idea is to do camp throughout the month of August 2021, with each week being a different theme instead of a day. So for week 1, we talk about our stories. Week 2, we talk about our feelings and coping. Week 3, we talk about remembering and commemorating. And week 4, we talk about hope and moving onward. There is no right or wrong way to do this, but I do emphasize going in the order. That is to help you the most as you're talking and processing your grief over the death of your special person. It's been a very interesting last year and a half at this point of going through the pandemic, adapting to all the changes we've gone through because of that, but also because of the death of your special person. Be that the death happened in the past year or even before that. Grief is something that is all around us. And grief is not just about having the loss of someone special, but other losses in our life. COVID has done a great job in letting us know how much grief is all around us. All these things that we missed out on, all these losses that have been in our lives. And sometimes with grief, we find that a lot of different emotions might come up for us. So part of camp is to talk about that and figure out how we can deal and help ourselves cope with these feelings. We also talk about how important it is for us to be able to identify and talk about what it is we feel, because it lets us feel a little bit better and be able to move forward. Moving forward doesn't mean that we forget our special person. It just means that we learn our lives now, adapting to them no longer being a part of our lives here physically. So I hope that you find Camp Healing Hearts Online 2021 to be helpful. This year we've added some opportunities for children and teens to connect with those around their own age. So some of the activities that are in the guide here, we'll be doing them virtually on what we use, it's called GoToMeeting. So look to your parent or guardian or any other helping adult or older family member that's going to help you out with this. And this will just be the guideline of how to go through everything. So it'll be a combination of watching videos like this one and doing the activities in the guide provided. And if you are able, doing some of those online virtual meetups. You do not have to do the virtual meetups in order to do camp. That is perfectly okay. We just wanted to create that opportunity that we get with in-person camp to connect with others and knowing you're not alone in your grief, that there's others your own age going through a similar experience. I don't like to say the same because our grief is unique to us with each loss that we experience and with each death of our special people in our lives. I also wanted to mention that while yes, we do emphasize the death of a special person, that sometimes there's death of a pet in our family, and that has a very huge impact on us too. I provided a video of a book this year talking about that because I wanted to highlight the importance of how pets could be in our life, that often they are like family members or maybe even siblings. I myself grew up as an only child, and I had a dog that I was very close to, and I considered him to be like a brother. And I remember when we had to put him down and how hard that was. So I wanted to add in this year that aspect for other children and teens who've gone through that loss to know it is important to address our feelings around that type of loss as well as having a death of a special person in our lives. So I'm just going to highlight real quick. You should have gotten this guide here, our Camp Healing Hearts Online 2021. And inside will be the welcoming letter, the guide that you're going to work through, and some resources. Some of this is the same as what was provided last year, but some is a little different. If there's any questions about anything in this guide, do not hesitate to call us. 315-634-2208 is the number to reach us at the Grief Center. So after the welcoming, we start with week 1, telling our story. Then we have the next 2 sections, which is week 2, feelings and coping. Then week 3, remembering and commemorating. Then our next 2 sections, we have week 4, which is hope and moving onward. And in here is some additional activities I provided and also some extra copies of the activities. There might be a few things that maybe you mess up or you want to do something different. I tried to provide some extra copies in here and also some other ideas of things to try and help. Then we also have the section of activities for other ages. I made this guide based on your age group, so I did want to provide the others in case those activities might have been helpful for you too. And then the very last section is the thank you letter and the evaluations. Once you've completed all 4 weeks of camp and done all of the videos that we offered, if you chose to do that virtual component of going on GoToMeeting, to please complete the evaluations and send them back to us. It really helps us to know what you thought camp was like, how it was helpful, what wasn't, to try and give us ideas of how to change camp moving forward. There is specific evaluations, so there's one for parent, guardians, or other helping adults, and then the one for the camper. If there's multiple family members doing camp, I ask for each camper to do their own evaluation because it will be, and each camper gets their own guide designed specific to them. So therefore, each one will have a evaluation for each camper as each camper gets their own booklet like this. You also should have received a backpack like this one. This one's empty, but yours should be full of different things to use for our activities. You also should have received a gift bag, a larger one filled with some other items too. And I will refer to the items in the bags to let you know what to use when we do each activity. Again, if any questions do come up at any time while you're going through Camp Healing Hearts Online 2021, don't hesitate to call me. 315-634-2208 is how to reach us here in the Grief Center. And I will be here through the office throughout the month of August until the very end. But the idea is that the first 4 weeks you go through this. However, if you need longer, that is perfectly fine. Or if you want to, mix it up and do it at your own pace, that is perfectly fine. I want to thank you again for joining us, and I hope that you find Camp Healing Hearts 2021 to be very helpful to you as you go through your grief journey.